हाय।
हाय।
भाई,
नहीं,
कभी कभी मत करना, आज के बाद ये।
लास्ट लास्ट अटेम्प्ट थी
दिस
मेरी
इज
ये।
द लास्ट टाइम। तू हाय कर
डू
रहा है,
डू
ये
यू
पेटेंट मेरे पे रहने दे।
डू यू
कॉपीराइट।
like deepen your voice to make people believe that whatever you're saying is serious? तू जो
आई
बोल
थिंक
रहा है।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, मैं बताता हूँ। I'll tell you the science behind it. What has happened कि जब मैं बहुत शॉर्ट ब्रीदिंग कर रहा था,
हम्म।
तो मेरी आवाज, इट्स लाइक, तेरे को पता नहीं, साइंस होती है कि जितनी ज्यादा हवा, लाइक यू इनहेल एंड एक्सहेल, तो बेसिकली योर वोकल कॉर्ड एक्सपैंड्स, तो जितना ज्यादा होती है तो उतना ज्यादा आवाज बढ़ जाती है। तो शायद वो ब्रीदिंग से रिलेटेड है। मैं ब्रीदिंग करता हूँ ज्यादा तो वो आवाज अपने आप वो वैसी रहती है। और इतना, लाइक, मुझे वो नहीं होता कि आई नीड टू, जस्ट बिकॉज आई नीड टू मेक पीपल बिलीव व्हाट आई एम सेइंग एंड एम्फसाइज
You
मेरी
don't need to
बातों को
deepen
वजन।
your voice. You don't
नहीं
deepen your
नहीं,
voice. It's already deep.
हाँ मतलब ये नेचुरल है। दिस इज
मेरे
दिस
मेरे
इज
साथ पता है क्या है, मेरे साथ थोड़ा सा
ये।
डिफरेंट है। मेरे साथ ऐसा था कि माय लाइक मेरी वॉइस बहुत डीप नहीं है इन जनरल।
हम्म।
और लाइक अगर मैं देखो नॉर्मल कॉल कर रहा हूँ, यू वुड हैव नोटिस्ड कि इट्स अ नॉर्मल वॉइस, इट्स नॉट
हाँ,
दैट डीप। लेकिन ये डीप हो जाती है अपने आप, बिकॉज मेरी ना आदत बन गई थी मॉड्यूलेट करने की। टू लाइक दिस बिकेम अ हैबिट बिकॉज विद दैट काइंड ऑफ वॉइस, विद जो ऐसे हेलो हेलो ऐसे नॉर्मल जो होती है ना वॉइस, उससे ना, आई डोंट नो व्हाई बट पीपल अराउंड मी डिडंट परसीव स्ट्रेंथ। आई थॉट दैट, एंड लाइक ऑब्वियसली एक छोटा बच्चा ही था मैं, तो उसको एक एक परसेप्शन ऐसा आता था कि ये लोग मुझे सीरियस नहीं ले रहे, तो मैं उस चीज को डीप कर लेता था। नाउ इट्स लाइक ऑब्वियसली फिर तो अब आपका, ये मैं 11 12 13 ईयर्स की बात कर रहा हूँ। जब तो उसके बाद तो अपने आप ही आपकी थोड़ी वॉइस अपने आप ही डीप हो जाती है। उसके बाद व्हेन आई केम टू नाइन्थ क्लास, इट वाज लाइक a class full of bullies and all. एंड वहां पे इट एक्चुअली बिकेम अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, बिकॉज बाकी सब लोगों को जो थोड़े से वीक जैसे दिखते थे, उनको पीट जाते थे लोग, मुझे नहीं करते थे। तो इट वाज इम्पॉर्टेंट टू एम्फसाइज पावर। आई थिंक सिग्नल पावर, सिग्नल्स, इफ यू सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ, दे नो, दे स्टे अवे फ्रॉम यू। मैं
आई
काफी
थिंक
एंड्रू टेट जैसी बात कर दी।
नहीं नहीं, मैं वहीं वहीं पे आ रहा था कि
हाँ।
पहली बात, जो ये जो तू वॉइस डीपन वाली बात कर रहा है, राइट?
हाँ।
मैं तो इसको जस्ट वन ऑफ द ट्रेट्स ऑफ मैस्कुलिनिटी मानता हूँ। क्योंकि हाँ, पता है क्या है कि हम जो परसेप्शंस बना लेते हैं ना, लाइक टेक्स्ट बुक्स वाली जो नॉलेज होती है,
हम्म।
एंड दिस टेक्स्ट बुक नॉलेज इज अ मेटाफोरिकल टर्म हियर। कि आप टेक्स्ट बुक में ऐसे पढ़ते हो कि एक मैन को ये क्वालिटीज, ये
होनी
स्ट्रेंथ्स, ये
चाहिए।
से सब
Yeah.
ट्रेट्स, ये सब वीकनेसेस होती हैं, तो ये डिफाइन करता है कि व्हाट अ मैन इज बायोलॉजिकली। अंडरस्टूड, ठीक है, एक्सेप्टेड है। बट व्हाट अबाउट ऑल दोज एक्सेप्शंस जो निकल के आते हैं फ्रॉम द बंच ऑफ पीपल, जो
Yeah.
जो आप अपने आप को कंसिडर नहीं करते? जैसे तूने बोला कि मेरी एक नॉर्मल वॉइस थी, तो ये जो तेरी डेफिनेशन हुई जब तूने क्लेम किया कि मेरी नॉर्मल वॉइस थी, दैट इज अ टेक्स्ट बुक डेफिनेशन कि नॉर्मल
Yeah.
वॉइस कैसे किस बेसिस पे तूने डिफाइन किया हुआ है।
हाँ।
अब मेरे लिए, जैसे तू मेरे से पूछेगा, राइट, तो मेरे लिए तो नॉर्मल वॉइस यही है। मेरे लिए तो अब नॉर्मल वॉइस तेरी वाली वॉइस हुई, राइट? क्योंकि मैं
हाँ।
जिनको ऐसे बोलते हुए सुनूंगा, जैसे जैसे मेरी आवाज है, राइट, जिनको मैं ऐसे बोलते हुए सुनूंगा, मुझे लगेगा कि ये तो नॉर्मल होती है, दिस इज नॉर्मल। और फिर तेरी आवाज में सुनूंगा तो मैं बोलूंगा कि हाँ चलो, दिस इज समथिंग दैट इज यूनिक, दिस इज समथिंग विच इज
डिफरेंट।
डिफरेंट आउट ऑफ द क्राउड। तो फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस वाली बात होती है, एंड masculinity में फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस इज समथिंग विच इज वेरी टेंशनिंग, विच इज वेरी लाइक पियर्सिंग। बहुत चुभती है वो चीज जब आपकी ना कोई कोई एज अ ट्रेट ऑफ मैस्कुलिनिटी आपको अगर बताया जाए। जैसे मेरे को पता है कि ये आवाज के लिए जो मेरे पास है, जो कि लोग हमेशा क्लेम करेंगे कि ये मॉड्यूलेटेड आवाज है, इस आवाज के लिए मैंने अपने स्कूल टाइम में बहुत लाइक झेला है। क्योंकि ऐसी आवाज अगर आ रही है, तो आपको पता है कि एडोलेसेंस में क्या होता है, आपके लैरिंग्स फेरिंग्स जितने भी वोकल कॉर्ड होते हैं, वो लाइक लाइक एडम्स एप्पल आ रहा होता है। है ना
Yeah.
बेसिकली। तो एडम्स एप्पल आने के समय उस टाइम एक एक फेज आता है बिटवीन लाइक 14 टू 16 17, जहाँ पे आपकी आवाज एकदम इट्स लाइक वेरी मीक, आपकी आवाज
Mm.
बहुत घटिया हो जाती है। और प्रॉब्लम मेरे साथ ये थी कि मेरी आवाज में लाउडनेस बहुत ज्यादा थी। अब वो लाइक अब तो और बेस डाउन हो गया, बट मेरी लाउड वॉइस थी, तो उसके लिए तो मैं स्कूल में बहुत लाइक झेला है। So I think the whole overall idea which we should start with without any further ado uh, is the significance of masculinity, and कैसे हमारी ये जो सोसाइटी, जो कम्युनिटी, जो वर्ल्ड है, वो इस masculinity को लेके कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच गई है आज। You
Mm.
give a like a half-minded person the most powerful tool in their hand, and look how mediocre they'll make that particular thing that is in their hand and their surroundings. Basically, I'm talking about the perceptions that people make about internet personalities, and वो कैसे इस पर्टिकुलर ट्रेड से जुड़ा हुआ है। मुझे लगता है ये वाली चीज जो है मुझे हमेशा फैसिनेट करती है। जैसे बट यू जस्ट मेंशन्ड दिस मैन जिसके बारे में हमने पहले भी बात की हुई है, एंड्रू टेट।
Andrew Tate.
this is one of those persons this is one of those person जो particularly इस एग्जाम्पल के लिए बहुत बहुत लाइक वैल्यूबल है। masculinity, he's I think he's the epitome of masculinity at this point, and और उससे भी ज्यादा like
Perceived masculinity. Yeah.
he has like elevated the perceived masculinity, and now he's become more of a toxic masculinity, like the face of
Yeah.
toxic masculinity. What do you think? Where and how this is like germinating? Where is this coming from? What do you think?
I was watching this reel जिसमें Jordan Peterson था, and like a woman asked him कि what do you like what do you think about toxic masculinity and what are your thoughts on that.
Hmm.
He like asked her to define it.
Hmm.
So I think if you're talking about more toxic masculinity, the पहले तो like I actually believe in that philosophy of dehumanizing gender जो तेरी ही है.
Perfect.
But
Yes.
but like talking about that, जब when you consume content you understand from the frame of reference कि उस person what kind of thing does that person want to do. ठीक है. When it comes to Andrew Tate, Andrew Tate has been I haven't been following his content a lot. तूने जब मुझे बताया था शुरू में, and दो तीन लोगों ने और बताया in the company, they told me that what he does, and एक तो inspired भी उससे. uh, it's the same. So okay, feminism. I used to be a supporter of feminism, like every
Used to
man.
be.
Yeah,
I'll stop you
yeah.
there. What is used to be?
वो मैं बताऊंगा. uh, the thing is, I used to be a fan नहीं, I used to buy into those ideas till the point that I thought it is important, and it is kind of perfect for the society we are living in. But what I didn't understand, it's every movement, every revolution, everything that actually brings change uh, ultimately becomes toxic in some way. Okay, I'm not saying feminism has become toxic. I think most of the people who are who relate to feminism come from a nice place. Like they what they want is a nicer world and better world, and there's no uh, you can't argue with that, because who doesn't. The thing is, uh, what happens is whenever something has like, okay, a frame of reference की बात थी ना, something starts, you attack me for something I have, or my gender or whatever, and you attack me तो वो पूरा अटैक जेंडर बेस्ड हो जाता है. आई जस्ट डोंट लाइक दैट कॉन्सेप्ट. एंड शुरू में शायद वो ठीक अटैक था. स्लोली व्हेन यू लाइक गेट अ क्राउड इन इट, बिकॉज लाइक यू मेक देम बिलीव कि मैं कुछ गलत कर रहा हूँ, यू अट्रैक्ट दैट क्राउड, एंड वो क्राउड के पास एक एनिमी बन जाता है. ठीक है. एंड वंस दैट एनिमी इज सेट, यार यही एनिमी है, इसकी जो ये ट्रेट्स है ना, ये खराब है. जबकि वो एनिमी हो नहीं, लाइक एनिमी वही एक पर्सन होगा, मैं ही हूँगा, लेकिन मेरे जैसे जो मेरे जो ट्राइब के, सपोज ट्राइब की बात करें, मेरी जो ट्राइब में 90% लोग हैं, 99% लोग सही है, मैं ही गलत था. ठीक है. लेकिन मेरी वो जो ट्रेट्स हैं वो सारी उन 90%, 99% में पहुंच लाइक के साथ थोड़ा आपने जोड़ दी. ठीक है. ट्राइबल मेंटालिटी. ठीक है. वॉरेन बफेट कॉल्स दिस अ ट्राइबल मेंटालिटी, एंड वो बोलता है कि इतना टाइम में पहली बार मुझे लग रहा है दुनिया ट्राइबल मेंटालिटी से अगेन जा रही है. लाइक उसने तो इतनी लाइफ जी है, ही सॉ अ लॉट ऑफ स्टफ, एंड अगेन ही सेज दैट world has become extremely polarized, नॉट जस्ट इन आइडियोलॉजीज, जिसकी वजह से पॉलिसीज बनते हैं, जिसकी वजह से पॉलिटिक्स आती है, बट इन अदर थिंग्स एज वेल. तो जो ये कांस्टेंट पुल है ना दोनों साइड्स पे, दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम. चल, लेट्स कम बैक टू एंड्रू टेट. अब द थिंग इज टॉक्सिक फेमिनिज्म, सॉरी, टॉक्सिक
टॉक्सिक फेमिनिज्म,
मैस्कुलिनिटी.
नाइस.
अरे भाई नहीं, आई हैव बीन कैंसल्ड. बस ये वर्ड बोल दिया. टॉक्सिक टॉक्सिक मैस्कुलिनिटी पे बात कर रहे थे ना. तो द थिंग इज, ये चीज उन लोगों को अट्रैक्ट करती है. अब ये काउंटर इफेक्ट है फेमिनिज्म का. जो फेमिनिज्म ने एक एक थॉट को कुछ लाइक 1% और 2% लोगों में जो थी, वो चीज को उन्होंने सब पूरे एक जेंडर से रिलेट कर दी. तो बहुत बड़ा पार्ट ऑफ द अदर जेंडर हैज बिकम वेरी एंटी फेमिनिज्म राइट नाउ. ठीक है. मैंने बोला आई यूज टू बी फॉर फेमिनिज्म, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आई एम एंटी फेमिनिज्म. दैट्स द थिंग. यू हैव टू बी न्यूट्रल. लाइक ठीक है यार, लाइक एनीबडी हु वांट्स टू डू समथिंग एंड हु वांट्स टू ब्रिंग गुड टू द वर्ल्ड इज गुड. आई बिलीव इन दैट लेक्स वाला फिलोसफी. Lex is extremely neutral. He does not support one side, he does not support the other. He's extremely neutral. He just wants to have conversation, learn from them, each of them.
I think he argues a lot with conviction ki usko, like what he does, he's based just because he has an engineer wala trait, right? So engineers hypothesize anything, and
Mhm.
then us hypothesis pe they try to either prove it right or prove it that this is not going to,
Yeah,
like, this is not going to work out here. This is something that is not our cup of tea. uh, the
yeah.
the the point that you're making about feminism
एक सेकंड
and
मैं बस खत्म
हाँ,
कर
yeah,
दूं.
yeah, completed, yeah.
तो so basically what I mean is, ये जो ये एक ट्रिगर था, एंड्रू टेट ने और भी लोगों ने इस चीज को ट्रिगर कर दिया मेल्स में, कि यार दिस इज समथिंग यू बीन ओप्रेस्ड फॉर, लाइक बिकॉज ये हो रहा है ना दुनिया में, इसलिए तुम्हारी ये जो प्रॉब्लम्स है ना, तुम्हारी उस वजह से है. कुछ कुछ बातें, देख ऐसा होता है कि द थिंग इज नो बडी इज राइट और रॉन्ग कंप्लीटली. उसकी बहुत सारी बातें सही है. ठीक है. लेकिन उसकी बहुत बड़ा पार्ट ऑफ वॉट एवर ही सेज इज रॉन्ग, is completely bullshit. It's like it is triggering people. तो एक होता है एक चिंगारी लगाना, ठीक है, और एक होता है जो सही बात कर देना. तो सही बात के साथ जो चिंगारी लगाए वो तो काफी पोलराइज कर सकता है ना पॉपुलेशन को. कितनी सही बात है.
I But don't you think you mentioning this particular fact,
या
just because the dominance of this particular personality is
या
way beyond other people, but there
या
are people who are already practicing it, but in a very subtle way, which people are not able to recognize. I'll give you an example. Pick up any influencer in their particular niche. Give me any influencer.
तन्मय भट्ट.
Tanmay Bhatt, right?
या
The toxic trait that you just mentioned about this particular person, that he's talking about
या
something with a very like with a convictional vocation that he has, with the things that he's saying, he's acting as a savior and all. Everyone is doing it in their particular niche in a subtle way. Let's talk about Tanmay Bhatt.
Hmm.
Tanmay Bhatt, he's a reaction channel right now. He's like producing that kind of content. Plus, he's doing vlogs, right? With his vlogs, you think you need to observe this, that he has the power to influence people into making, like, into giving them an aspiration that you can also become a content creator with just your phone. You have the he holds the baton, the power, that he can influence people, saying that you can sit at home, do nothing, stream
हाँ,
on YouTube and earn
and
money.
create a living.
That is the aspiration that he's selling. This is toxic. Don't you think people need to go to the field and actually do some real hard work before claiming that we are unemployed, before claiming we don't get paid, before even claiming anything that they think is
Yeah.
very adverse happening in their life? Before that, they just need to know where they're getting influenced by. And this particular thing that you mentioned, that he is,
The whole
um,
social media thing right now is doing that.
why do you
कुछ ना
think
कुछ way में,
I
yeah.
I I hate that term influencer, content
Why
creator?
why does Andrew Tate work? You know why?
Right.
Because 90% of whoever is influencing, that could be Hollywood influencers, Bollywood people, 90% ने एक they buy into this, I think, um, I don't know if I'm accurate with this thought. I don't have to be. It's just a thought. 90% buy into this cultural hegemony.
What is that?
Hmm.
Surprisingly enough, I might have a very great vocabulary, but I have no idea what hedge money means.
So, like,
Explain me like I'm five.
it's like it's basically rule of the elitists over the normal janta, to control them, to never ever revolt against them. ठीक है. नाउ फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस के हिसाब से देखा जाता है, आप किसी चीज में एलीट हो गए और किसी चीज में आप एलीट नहीं हो गए. आप यूट्यूब पे लीड हो सकते हो, लेकिन अगर आप एक बहुत बड़े, लाइक शाहरुख खान के साथ तन्मय भट्ट और ये सब है, तो वहां पे नहीं हो. तो एक हर जगह पे अलग अलग फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस में ये चलती रहती है चीज. द थिंग आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इज अमेरिकाज कल्चरल हेजेमनी ओवर द वर्ल्ड. ठीक है. अमेरिका एक elite कंट्री मानी जाए, एंड दूसरी कंट्रीज उसी को फॉलो करे. द द फैक्ट दैट वी वियर जीन्स, एंड जैसे उन्होंने कॉर्पोरेशन से अपनी पूरी दुनिया में बना लिया है स्लोली स्लोली करके. एंड that's a good kind of like cultural hegemony. I don't think I it is something to be observed. It's not something to be to negate against or something like that. But what I am talking about is एक narrative sell करता है. ठीक है. सब लोग उस narrative को खरीद लेते हैं. ठीक है. Because it is sold in a very good packaged way. ठीक है. दैट इज अ वेरी गुड थिंग टू डू. ठीक है. क्लाइमेट चेंज के बारे में बात करनी स्टार्ट करी, तो क्लाइमेट चेंज एक क्लाइमेट चेंज एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज है टू फाइट अगेंस्ट. ठीक है. हाउ डू यू इन्वॉल्व अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल इन इट है? by awareness campaigns and cultural hegemony. Like I won't say cultural hegemony, but उसका part बना दो उसको. Like this won't be accurate if I say it's cultural hegemony. जैसे एक्टर्स एक्ट्रेसेस, उनको उनके माइंड्स में भी डलवाओ दैट इज अ वेरी नाइस थिंग टू डू, कि आप प्लांटिंग कर रहे हो, प्लांटेशन कैंपेन्स कर रहे हो वगैरह वगैरह. एंड ऐसे करके आप एक थॉट को बाहर निकालते हो दुनिया में, स्लोली स्लोली स्लोली. एंड देन सब लोग उसके अंडर, उस थॉट के अम्ब्रेला के अंदर ही रहते हैं बहुत टाइम तक, बहुत टाइम तक. सडनली समवन कम्स इन एंड सेज कि यार अगर हम इतनी क्लाइमेट की प्रोटेक्शन करते हैं, तो जब लाइक बहुत सालों पहले, लाइक 400-500 years पहले, हम क्लाइमेट नेचर का पार्ट ही थे. तो इफ वी एक्चुअली बिकम अ पार्ट ऑफ नेचर, हमारा जो लाइक डेथ रेट था वो बहुत ज्यादा था. बिकॉज इन जनरल ह्यूमंस एंड whatever is born is not meant to live for so long. हमने अपना इंक्रीज किया थ्रू 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 ह्यूमनली थिंग्स,
Advancement in, yeah,
एडवांसमेंट ऑफ
advancement in
टेक्नोलॉजी,
technology,
मेडिकल, एवरीथिंग,
society,
सोसाइटी।
architecture, life design.
एग्जैक्टली
Yeah.
exactly. हमने पूरे उसको एनहांस किया। तो अब ये कोई आके बोल दे तो ये वाली बात कुछ कुछ लोगों को हिट करेगी, ठीक है। सपोज मैं ये बोलते रहता हूँ यार क्लाइमेट चेंज, ग्रेटा इज बेस्ट, ठीक है, ये बोलते रहता हूँ, और तू सडनली आके मेरे को ये नैरेटिव देता है, और मैं बोलूँ ओ शिट, इसने तो मेरे को सही बोल दिया, इसने तो कुछ ऐसी से डाल दिया कि यार ये तो बहुत ही अलग। अब इवन इफ आई वॉज बिलीविंग इन क्लाइमेट चेंज, इट्स नॉट समथिंग टू बी बिलीव्ड, इट इज अ फैक्ट। अब मैं उसके
Hmm.
फैक्ट के भी अगेंस्ट जाऊंगा बिकॉज पुराने जमाने में ऐसा होता था, अब ऑपरेशन हो रही है ऐसे करके। दैट्स मैंने देखो बड़ी अच्छे दूसरे एग्जाम्पल से ये समझा दिया। तो वेन एवर अ क्लाउड ऑफ वन नेरेटिव builds over 90% of your distribution, it could be feminism, it could be wokeism, I don't know, like whatever, like हॉलीवुड को woke बोला जाता है ना, 90% ऑफ द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ अमेरिका की मूवीज एंड ऑल, वो 90% हॉलीवुड कंट्रोल करता है। हॉलीवुड अगर वोक हो रहा है तो 90% डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन जो आप देख रहे हो, कर रहे हो, हर चीज वो वोक है। एक बार ट्रम्प जैसा एक बंदा आके एक चिंगारी मार देता है, दो तीन बातें अच्छी करता है, अब उसको प्रेसिडेंट बना देते हो। That's the impact of such people, and such people are extremely dangerous. I'm not commenting on Trump is right, wrong, I don't even know कि क्या है, मेरे को फर्क भी नहीं पड़ता, I live in India, I don't care about their attitudes, but that's how things work. Andrew Tate बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, like why do I think about him, why do I give time to what is he doing, is because he's a distribution genius and you have to give it to him. Whatever he says is crap, but he's a distribution genius. Whatever he says, nahi, like a lot of things he says is correct, but that does not mean he is correct.
नहीं, but ठीक है,
Hmm.
बहुत सारे, I think that there are so many dots that needs to be
Hmm.
connected here, right?
Hmm.
Starting right from where Andrew Tate is coming from. I'll tell you very honestly, I have no idea what woke or wokeism means. So that gives me an edge and advantage of understanding it from a perspective, from like, a raw and real perspective, rather than having a definitive, descriptive thought about this particular topic.
Mhm.
Let's keep that aside. Let's talk about
Yeah.
particularly the personality of Andrew Tate and what he's been doing till date, how it has impacted everyone, and how it is going. Is it going to like stay for a while, or is he another, like, candle in the wind? Um, I think Andrew Tate has given all these men, as you said, this kind of feeling ki, oh, he's our savior. So as soon as we see him as our savior, he is the he becomes the Messiah. Like, he has that kind of
Yeah.
uh, brand recall of himself that he's the savior, he's the Messiah. That iske pehle hum atrocities mein the, and now he's the one who's going to give us everything that has gone wrong with this particular cloud of, or a particular community or particular set of people. I think the way he started out, which was not his intention to do, his intention basically, as you mentioned, was to increase and create distribution. Before
Mm.
going anywhere else, I think this is the power of podcasts, which we're doing. We uh, like came through the discussion till here, but I would like to point out, like, Andrew Tate started advertising himself through all of the top network podcasts of, his region, his area.
Yeah.
And as soon as he started coming on all the podcast, views started going up because he was saying all those statements. He was selling himself, again productizing himself in such a way that it's irresistible not to click and just for once listen to what he's saying, where
Mm.
he's coming from. I think the arguments that he made, I don't want to comment on that. whatever he said, because
Yeah.
when I went down the spiral of researching what he is, what he does, how he has been. So little bit of history I also know about him, because he was in MMA, he had fought in UFC here and there. He has been a fighter, and I was a very uh, avid watcher of MMA, so I know where he's coming from. But the thing that everyone is missing, that he initially, when he started out being the face of that I'm the savior, I'm the messiah, because Andrew Tate's journey has been into phases. There was a phase when he was like packaging and selling. Then there was a
Yeah.
stage where there were repeats happening on him. There was the third stage where the recall was happening on him. And then came the stage where he's dying down right now. His thrill has like just vanished out. In the phase of him packaging and selling his ideas, ideologies, his
When
philosophy.
was this? Like 2021,
Yeah,
2020,
this was last year. This was last year.
2021?
He
Yeah.
started he started with a buzz, like any kind of viral marketing, if you've heard of it, any kind
Yeah.
of virality that happens overnight. It takes a lot of you know
Mm.
hot takes or some unpopular opinions that you might have about some particular topic
I
that
keep
will.
saying this, that popular opinion creates resonance, and it actually creates a lot of affinity towards your brand. But uh, unpopular opinions create a cult. So if you actually want to create a cult, you have those, like, you need those crazy ultra, like, probably scammy opinions. तो उसकी वजह से पागलपन मच सकता है
नहीं,
दुनिया में.
but I think you, if you really see, what I
Hmm.
observe here, कि
Hmm.
everyone who's talking about Andrew Tate,
Yeah.
right, uh, are either blaming him or are trying to avoid him or are trying to ignore him. No one is standing by the fact that when he came, like when he came in front of your eyes, when he came on your feed, when he was onto your you know phone, trying to get inside your brain, you were the one who allowed it to, like, devour it, absorb whatever he's saying. What I think he did, and what he actually did, was do nothing but ask questions. He was just asking questions, that why does a woman, uh, female, or any kind of identifiers that you have for yourself, which I don't believe in. Why? Because my philosophy stands with dehumanizing gender. Rather than having so many gender roles, why not, like, keep it humane, like just that. Like, you if you were talking about particular uh mediums of expressing something, you might say the whole genre of it, not particular brand of it. Like, मैं फोन कॉल कर देता हूँ, तो ऐसा नहीं बोलता
Yeah.
ना कि मैं आईफोन कॉल कर देता हूँ या फिर मैं एंड्रॉइड फोन कॉल कर देता, इट्स अ फोन कॉल. तो जो
Yeah.
लिंग्विस्टिक है, जो आपकी वोकैबुलरी है, आप उसके साथ अगर आप पॉइंट आउट करके खेलने लग जाओगे,
Yeah.
then I think that is the most stupid thing that you're doing, trying to defend yourself. But when
Yeah.
Andrew Tate is trying to question you in like, a lot of times, you let that in, you let him cross the boundary where he started influencing you from
Yeah.
the very first question that he asked. And he was not any different. His conceptualization was very specific to gender roles. He just mentioned, ki tell me why a woman has the authority to, like, claim, to put tags, to put a lot of uh, you know uh, uh, what do you call that, put a lot of firewalls in front of their functioning in the society, and why men has to take all the fall in and around. Like, I'll
Yeah.
ask you a question, Arun. Women, particularly women, right, they're fighting for their rights.
Yeah.
What kind of rights are they fighting for?
uh Equal pay for equal work.
That's one.
uh
Let's talk
yeah.
about more of it.
Better maternity benefits, because, like, making babies is important, and we and then, like, their They are different kind of human beings, so they need to be cared
So
for
basically, if I
differently.
point out, their
Yeah,
anatomy is different,
yeah, yeah.
right? They're the
Their anatomy.
biological, uh,
Yeah,
like the structure, the anatomy is different. But when you look at from an overall perspective, they're humans, right?
yeah.
Again, it's equal pay, then maternity leave. What else?
Mm, Probably they've been denied a lot of opportunities.
Like what?
Mm, like uh, like in general, if I talk about sports, so because of this culture ki like girls aren't meant to play cricket or something. पहले था, अब तो मिथाली राजन और गैंग हैव
Yeah.
completely changed it. But पहले पहले ऐसा था ना, तो to fight that they had to like give a lot of examples to the girls of this era, and then finally some girls started playing cricket, and now I recently saw a match like हमारी
Okay.
society के पास ही,
Okay.
amazing cricket. So that like they were denied opportunities based on culture. Like तू क्या खेलेगी वाला जो थोड़ा 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 डालते रहते हैं इंसान के, वो
Hmm.
वाला. Probably that, I guess.
I think यहाँ पे एक चीज ऑब्जर्व करने वाली है,
Hmm.
right? Rather than going way beyond in the world and trying to pick small
Hmm. Hmm.
details, agreed.
Hmm.
There
Hmm.
has been that kind of uh, what do you call practices
Yeah,
where women have been denied stuff,
yeah, yeah.
and has there any type of circumstance where they were denied it, like any kind of opportunity was denied, they fought for it and they were never got it? Has there any incident happened in this particular fashion?
uh, pr- Probably equal पे अभी तक नहीं हुआ है properly.
You think equal पे नहीं हुआ है?
Probably, I don't know, like I
हाँ.
don't know the details. मैं तो बस सुनता
हाँ,
हूँ like
ठीक है.
आसपास ऐसी
I'll
बातें.
tell you. I'll
Yeah,
I'll also point out and give you the answer to this.
yeah,
Equal पे नहीं हुआ है, right? तो अगर
yeah,
हम इसको like पिन कर लेते हैं,
yeah.
let's talk about equal pay in each and every uh, occupation that you see.
Hmm.
ठीक है? Because ये ना मोस्टली वुमेन्स क्या करेंगी, दे विल ट्राई टू एक्सप्लेन इट इन अ लूप. वो बोलेंगे कि अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं है इसलिए इक्वल पे नहीं है, इक्वल पे नहीं आ रहा इसलिए हमें और अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं मिल रही. राइट? दिस इज हाउ
Yeah,
द स्पाइरल इज गोइंग टू बी.
okay.
लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द density of where men are populated in like in any kind of different occupation, and how women have the density at particular occupations. Talk to me about coal miners या the वो लोग जिनमें पावर की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत होती है,
Hmm.
या फिर कोई ऐसी ऑन फील्ड वर्क जहां पे लाइक you need you need a anatomical advantage of your body to do some kind of particular work, right?
Hmm.
Are women willingly choosing that? If
uh
women really wanted equal
in
pay,
India, in India हाँ करते भी हैं.
हाँ
Yes.
अभी करना शुरू कर दिया भाई, बिकॉज
पर
पीपल आर गेटिंग लाइक एक्सपोज टू ऑल ऑफ दीज काइंड ऑफ
yeah,
स्टफ. ये मैं वेव तब मैं इस चीज को पॉइंट
पुराने
आउट कर
वाली बात.
पाऊंगा जब वुमेन willingly are trying to get into defense backgrounds, like they're trying to get into army, they're trying to get into air force, they're trying to get into navy. Willingly मैंने बहुत कम रेशियो देखा है, like the ratio of a woman joining a defense a defense career is 1:10. Like every 10 men may you would find one woman. Why is that? I think now you can't blame कि हमारे पास तो आ ही नहीं रहा, like हमें exposure ही नहीं. You have internet right in your hand. You have the power to create a dancing video of 30 seconds, but you don't have the power to see what is and how you can impact your society and your country.
Again culture.
Again, culture. So
Yeah,
equal pay, woman is right, women rights, they're fighting for it,
yeah.
culture. ये तीन चीज को अगर हम लेके चलें, राइट, तो एंड्रू टेट was just questioning every aspect of it from a evidence point of view and from a experience point of view. I'll tell you how.
Yeah.
You tell me, to nurture a child, what is needed? Like a newborn baby, उनको nurture करने के लिए क्या चाहिए?
Care and basic
नहीं तो
stuff.
that basic stuff is okay. Like you
Yeah.
need a warmth of a mother, and you
Mother.
need the protectiveness of a father,
Yeah.
right? The basic utility of a human being was survival. Now
Mm.
that baby is born in this world, they need to survive. How are they
Mhm.
going to survive? They have two creatures. By nature, they need to like provide that survival until they're on their own. ये ह्यूमन की लाइक जो ह्यूमन का जो व्हाट डू यू कॉल द डीएनए स्ट्रक्चर होता है ना, उसमें ही है ये. You
Okay.
are born in this world, you have you hold the power to procreate children, and now you have to go out, do there, and do all the necessary things in order to like get where you actually claim to be like, yeah, we created something and now we're giving a legacy to this world. Just because lack of you know lack of schemes, lack of voices, lack of faces, lack of a lot of benefits, लोग ना एक कॉन्सेप्ट को पकड़ के, एक थ्योरी को पकड़ के, दे ऑलवेज ट्राई टू जस्टिफाई देयर एक्शंस. यहाँ पे
Mm.
इक्वल पे की बात चल रही है, तो यू
Mhm.
नीड टू फाइंड दैट काइंड ऑफ ऑक्यूपेशन इन ऑर्डर टू हैव दैट इक्वल पे.
Yeah.
Go into finance, you'll find women and men का ratio trying to be balanced out. वहां पे equal पे, वहां पे like you having a female boss or a male boss. दिक्कत यहाँ हो जाती है when you see a hierarchical structure on the basis of gender roles,
Yeah.
not on merit, not on if they're actually capable or responsible to do that. तो पहली चीज वो हो गई. The thing that has happened right now, just because there are so many cultural suppressions, there have been so many cultural tectonic shifts, that you have become blind, you have become blurred to see what is actually happening. And when Andrew Tate is questioning all of these things, people are getting disturbed. They're getting very jolted कि अरे ये कैसे बोल दिया इसने, अरे वो कैसे बोल दिया. To an extent, he might be wrong. Why? Because he is human. Again, he has to be wrong. That is what's the significance of a human being. अब
Yeah.
आप उसको different different labels या different different terms में define कर दो, that is your take. जैसे हमने जो concept से शुरू किया था, एंड्रू टेट, टॉक्सिक मैस्कुलिनिटी. आप टॉक्सिक मैस्कुलिनिटी इसलिए बोल रहे हो बिकॉज यू डोंट हैव द पावर टू कंट्रोल दैट पर्टिकुलर aura,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you see him talking about he, that there was a very beautiful concept someone was discussing on any kind of any podcast, I don't remember. They were saying ki if a man has a lot of wealth in their hand, if a man has done everything that he wanted in his life, what is the next step that he's going to do when he gets a lot of money? He's going to build a family. That is his
Mhm.
like the ultimate task that a man has.
Instinct. Yeah.
A basic human instinct. What does a female action represents when they are given that kind of wealth and success? आप एक आदमी को लो, उसको बहुत सारा वेल्थ एंड लाइक हर चीज, हर एमिनिटीज दे दो. द नेक्स्ट थिंग दैट ही इज गोइंग टू डू, कि अब तो मैंने हर चीज कर ली, द नेक्स्ट थिंग वुड बी दैट आई नीड अ फैमिली, लेट्स रेज अ
Yeah.
फैमिली. A
Yeah.
basic human instinct. But the cultural blurriness is as such, like it is so um it's so saddening कि how
And it's
can
so
we
powerful.
as human have become so weak to understand this fact कि अब यही चीज एक औरत को दो, give it to a female, all the wealth, all the amenities and everything, and they want to become independent. They don't want to like have any kind of man in their life, they want to enjoy, they want to like do this and that. And that narrative is where every evolutionary point starts with that particular human instinct, which was not fed naturally when you were like on this earth. It is a byproduct of how society has been, just because of their own pleasures, they have been dictating the wrong kind of narrative. There's a thing like this kind of thinking, I think, can be coined as conformity. Why? Because conformity is following some set of rules, some set of narratives set by conventional paths, and then you need to maintain it with status quo. So basically, when a woman tries to justify their action, or particularly this concept that you call feminism, I think those who are following feminism, if they're truly a feminist, like deep down their heart, they don't need to claim it every here and then. They're being a hypocrite if they have to claim it every time something XYZ is happening. Like I'll give you a very robust Indian example. ठीक है? तेरे को किसी लड़की ने झापड़ मार दिया.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do?
Okay. Mm.
Exactly. इतना सोचना पड़ रहा है. See, this particular incident, I would like to frame this, and this is the narrative that we have. You're thinking कि मेरे पास और क्या options हैं.
नहीं है.
यही चीज, ये
I won't.
मैं
I
तेरे को बता
actually
रहा हूँ.
won't do anything other
हाँ,
than
मैं तेरे को बता रहा
speak
हूँ.
or do
इतनी
something.
अपनी जो इंस्टिंक्ट है इतनी कंटामिनेट हो गई है. लाइक इफ वी वुड हैव बीन अ रॉ सैवेज एनिमल्स, हमारा बेसिक इंस्टिंक्ट क्या होता? हमला करना. Someone has attacked us, so in defense we need to attack them. We're also a social animal, like how all the pseudo
Mm.
elites try to coin themselves.
Mm-hmm.
What should my conventional action would
Pseudo
have been?
elites. You're going to be cancelled after this.
I see, it's very simple. Either you are very affirmative with what you believe in, or if it's rented, then you're going to have it. Sweet and simple.
Yes.
बेसिक इंस्टिंक्ट, किसी लड़की ने मुझे थप्पड़ मार दिया, एंड यहाँ मैंने लड़की लाइक मेटाफोरिकली ऐड किया. दिस हैज टू एक्ट एज अ प्लेस होल्डर. वो लड़का भी हो सकता है. अब अगर लड़का मार दे तो लड़की मार सकती है. गुड. बट
Mm-hmm.
एक लड़की मार दे तो लड़का सोच रहा है कि मेरे को नेक्स्ट क्या करना चाहिए.
Right. Right.
दिस इज द ब्लड सिनेरियो जो हमें ना हटाना पड़ेगा. एंड्रू टेट ने यही क्वेश्चन किया. द ओनली प्रॉब्लम दैट वेंट डाउन ऑफ हिम वाज he started reflecting all of his actions and started like correcting his image with the concept that he was selling. Like
Yeah.
he was saying कि मैं किसी के साथ like जुड़ा नहीं रह सकता, मैं यहाँ जाता हूँ, मैं ये करता हूँ, इस लड़की के साथ मैंने ये कर दिया, फिर I went there, I did this. He's selling that kind of aspiration that every other man aspires to have in their
उसके
life.
उसके उसके सबसे गलत बात क्या थी? Like, what is the decreeing point? I think it's, पता नहीं, अब मेरे को अच्छे से याद नहीं है, तू
आई
बता.
थिंक उसकी सबसे थ्रेटनिंग और लाइक बहुत बहुत वर्स बात उसकी जो एकदम सिंपल सी आइडियोलॉजी है कि men are suppressed, men are the one who's actually facing
Men are
atrocities. That is
superior,
the
ये भी बोला उसने क्या? ऐसे
दोनों
कुछ
चीज बोल रहे हैं ना.
बोल
टाइम
रहा
के
है.
हिसाब से as soon as he has gained that kind of distribution, he is like using it in his own favor, and that is where it's going all wrong. Men confuse हो चुके हैं. एक पॉइंट पे तुम कह रहे हो कि हाँ हाँ हमें फैमिली बना लेनी चाहिए बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाट मेन शुड डू. एक पॉइंट पे तुम कह रहे हो कि नहीं नहीं, मेन शुड नेवर रिलाई और बिकम डिपेंडेंट ऑन अ वुमन. व्हाई? बिकॉज woman has the power to lose interest in someone. Like woman has a power where they can detach themselves from any kind of emotional connection, but men lack that kind of detachment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is basically what you're giving: aspiration and a threat at the same time.
Yeah.
And that is where
When Jordan Peterson used to say that, everybody cancelled him. Jordan Peterson ने biologically,
Hmm.
he's a man of science. He comes
Yeah,
from
I love
that
that.
place. Oh, wait. He he comes from that place. ठीक है, he's a man of science. And wait a second. Yeah.
रुकावट के
तो
लिए
खेद है.
अगेन खेद है. हाँ,
मैं
बोलो
कह रहा
बोलो.
था कि जॉर्डन पीटरसन इज अ मैन ऑफ साइंस एंड ही एक्सप्लेन्स स्टफ, बट आई थिंक sometimes whatever he says is at an IQ level unknown to masses, and he speaks all that for the masses. तो आधी जनता, चलो आधी क्या, मेल जनता उसको अपने फेवर में लेके उसको एज अ शील्ड बना के चलती है उसके आइडियोलॉजीज को। आइडियोलॉजी है ही नहीं, इट्स साइंस। ही इज स्पीकिंग साइंस, ही इज स्पीकिंग साइकोलॉजिकल रियल स्टफ। ठीक है। और दूसरी जनता उसको एक अपने आप को ऑफेंड करने के लिए तलवार जैसे चलती है, एक शील्ड जैसे चलती है और एक तलवार जैसे चलाता है। कोई भी अच्छे से उसको समझ नहीं पाया बात को, बिकॉज आई एक्चुअली आई बॉट हिज बुक, आई वाज लिसनिंग टू इट एंड आई वाज लाइक, दिस बुक आई कांट लिसन टू, बिकॉज ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट है समझने में। द
अच्छा,
थिंग इज
which was
यू,
the book? Which was the book?
मैं 12 रूल्स पर सुन रहा था, एंड आई ऑल्सो बॉट
12,
बियॉन्ड ऑर्डर
12 rules of life.
फॉर लाइफ या।
I have never read that book, surprisingly.
बियॉन्ड, मैंने कहीं पढ़ा था कि बियॉन्ड ऑर्डर पहले लेना एंड देन 12 रूल्स लेना। if you read it you understand things. The thing is, why why did I come to this conclusion कि ना उसको डिफेंड करने वाले उसको कभी समझ पाए, ना उसको लाइक उसके अगेंस्ट जाने वाले उसको कभी समझ पाए, बिकॉज ही इज टॉकिंग डीप बायोलॉजी अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स। उसकी एक बहुत फेमस चीज है आर्केटाइप्स पे उसकी रिसर्च है। ठीक है। एंड a lot of girls get offended by it. ठीक है। I don't know if it's right, it's perfectly accurate, I don't know. ठीक है। It's a research, I read that research and it looks quite accurate. ठीक है। We've not verified it, so I won't say it's verified or something, but it looks accurate. And but he does not draw conclusions from it. The thing is, what most people don't understand is that study is a study. It is not supposed to be implied. When I in that Starbucks reel, जब मैंने बोला था कि Starbucks is really successful in India and like क्यों है ऐसा, because India is a status driven society. So everybody was like, no, India is not a status driven society and ये and वो and ये तूने गलत बोला है. Some people were like that. और दूसरी साइड सम पीपल वर लाइक, हाँ सब सब बेवकूफ है, सब पागल इंसान है इंडिया में, सब ऐसी बेकार चीजों के लिए मरते रहते हैं, हम तो चाय लाइक टपरी वाली चाय पीने का घमंड है। And ये वाले कमेंट्स थे ना। उन्होंने ये समझा कि स्टेटस ड्रिवन सोसाइटी क्यों थी, क्योंकि कोर मोटिवेशन है, कोर मोटिवेशन को कोई बदल नहीं सकता। कोर मोटिवेशन एक मोटिवेशन होती है आपके अंदर की, जिसको आप चूज नहीं करते हो, वो आपकी मोटिवेशन है और यही है, ये ट्रूथ है आपका। ठीक है। दिस इज हाउ यू बीन प्रोग्राम्ड। तुम इसको हाँ चेंज कर सकते हो बहुत ट्राई करके, आई डोंट नो, मेडिटेशन और स्टफ, बट कोर मोटिवेशन इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू चेंज। एक सोसाइटी की कोर मोटिवेशन नहीं चेंज, इंडिविजुअली कर सकते हो। उस पे लोग कमेंट पास कर रहे हैं अबाउट दैट थिंग विच इज सपोज टू बी ऑब्जर्व्ड एंड स्टडीड। तो मैंने एक स्टोरी भी डाली उसके बाद, जब एकदम ही फट गया वो रील और फिर उस पर बहुत कमेंट्स है। तो मोस्ट पीपल थॉट दैट, आधे आधे लोगों को लगा कि मैं इंडियंस के अगेंस्ट बोल रहा हूँ, और आधे को लगा कि मैं इंडियंस के अगेंस्ट बोल रहा हूँ, कितनी सही बात कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज ऐसी ही है। तो मैं तो स्टडी निकाल के बोली यार कि हाँ यार ये स्टेटस ड्रिवन सोसाइटी है, इसलिए सिग्नलिंग प्रोडक्ट्स ज्यादा वर्क करते हैं यहाँ पे, जिसको एज एन एडवांटेज यूज करके आप अपना बिजनेस बिल्ड कर सकते हो, दैट्स इट। ठीक
आई
है।
थिंक
दैट दैट
यही
वाज द थिंग।
तेरी तेरी जो वो रील थी ना,
हम्म।
स्टारबक्स वाली,
हम्म।
उसका रियल रीजन चलना was this kind of, sentiment triggering.
हम्म।
Because I'll tell you how, what kind of nature humans possess, that they don't want others to see it. Like for example, लोग जो स्टारबक्स से खरीदते हैं, like the people who are Starbucks users or Starbucks
या।
consumers, they would buy the coffee. They would click pictures of that coffee saying that this is the symbol, because that symbol is recognized all over the world.
राइट।
They would post it, write some thought about it, subtle way में. मैं तेरे को बता रहा हूँ कि how they try to defy what you are trying to say. They don't want to accept it. Why? Because that is their reality. As I said, right?
एग्जैक्टली
Conformity,
एग्जैक्टली। ओ,
conformity ही आ
दिस इज
जाती है. Like
गुड,
you follow
दिस इज
social
गुड।
conventional path, and you don't want to like get rejected on that path. That is why you are supporting those kind of statements. तू गया स्टारबक्स,
हम्म
कॉफी खरीदी, कप आया तेरे
हम्म
हाथ में, तूने वो कप की फोटो खींची, तूने डाल दी। ये जो पूरा सिनेरियो हुआ, ये तूने एक लाइन में बोल दिया कि व्हाई स्टारबक्स इज वेरी सक्सेसफुल इन इंडिया, बिकॉज इंडिया इज अ स्टेटस ड्रिवन सोसाइटी। तुम ब्रोक हो गए, तुम अनएम्प्लॉयड हो गए, तुम किसी
या
और के पैसे पे पी रहे हो, बट वो जो एक लाइक एक सोशल जो आपका एक सोशल एक्शन हो गया,
या
स्टारबक्स के कॉफी की फोटो खींच के डालने वाली, वो
या
क्या चीज डिपिक्ट करता है? Like that particular thing is depicting the resentment that you have of yourself and how you want to show it off to people कि ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। Status
हम्म
driven society का क्या मतलब होता है? A society that is a function of status. It is not driven by like it literal terms में नहीं, समझ रहे? Status driven society is nothing but a society whose function is driven by
by
status.
status and
It
that
is
there's
not,
nothing wrong with it. Like
हाँ
मेरे को तो
they
वही
exactly.
प्रॉब्लम आ रही थी कि there's nothing wrong with it bro.
आई मीन एवरी,
या
जस्ट बिकॉज पता प्रॉब्लम क्या है, ये कॉन्सेप्ट इंडिया में बहुत लेट इन एम्बेड होगा आपके अंदर, बिकॉज वी आर स्टिल इन दैट डेवलपमेंटल स्टेज। हम, मैंने कहा, मैं पहले भी ये चीज कह चुका हूँ कि जो रेंटेड वेस्टर्नाइजेशन ना, उसकी वजह
हम्म
से हमने अपने कल्चर को करप्ट कर दिया।
या
तो ये बोल रहा था ना कि वुमेन्स फाइट करती है, एंड जॉर्डन पीटरसन ने कह दिया। चलो जॉर्डन पीटरसन की एक जो एस्पेक्ट है, लाइक ही इज राइट विंग और लेफ्ट विंग, मेरे को तो नहीं समझ में आता, बिकॉज
नहीं
आई
इज
हैव
नॉट
नो आइडिया
आई
व्हाट।
आई डोंट थिंक ही इज बट वही है दैट्स द थिंग जो राइट विंग ऑफ अमेरिका है वो उसको एज अ शील्ड यूज कर लेता
एग्जैक्टली,
है
एंड
ही
जो
डज
लेफ्ट
नॉट
विंग,
he does not want to be used that as a shield and left wing offend होने के लिए या लेफ्ट विंग और सपोज अगर फेमिनिस्ट है तो फेमिनिस्ट को एज वो यूज कर लेती है बट
नहीं तो,
जॉर्डन हाँ
हाँ बोल बोल।
जॉर्डन पीटरसन का ना मुझे जो जो मैंने लिखा भी था एंड आई एक्चुअली आई वांटेड टू राइट समथिंग बट इट जस्ट फ्लू इन माय थॉट्स खत्म हो गया था कि लेकिन अभी हम बात करें तो याद आया कि दैट you can watch him, you can deny whatever he says, but it can hurt you real bad. It sounds very unsocietal, but deep down you know it's truth. And
एग्जैक्टली,
the वो जो ट्रिगर करते हैं ना लोग, वो पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव दोनों में चला जाता है. ठीक है, he teaches you to accept it. Okay, this is what it is, and you study a theory. That's it. Um, and when people bring flaws in a society na and present them on a paper and show you how broken and uncivilized and ordered it is, that chaos like is the only rule in life. when you when you learn that, when normal human beings are like ca- like you are thrown untrue narratives on your face all the time, all the time, all the time, and you like think of them as the truth. And suddenly एक आदमी आके कहता है नहीं बेटा ऐसे ऐसा है, तो तेरे को नहीं समझ आया था ये चीज,
हाँ
और एंड यू लाइक ओ शिट यस. ठीक है, he calls out the real and you have to accept it. And if you don't accept it, ठीक है भाई वो तुम्हारी choice है. and
तुम्हारी चॉइस
and let's come to America.
है। आई थिंक दैट
America is
आई
the
रियली वांट टू
softest country
डीथ्रोन।
of the world.
हाँ, या ट्रू, ट्रू
It
ट्रू।
is literally the softest country in the world. They
आई
get
वुड,
offended over anything and everything.
because they're
Literally.
they're they're, they're well versed with a lot of stuff. They have expanded their brain in every field possible, and that is why they have the best measured weight. वो होता है ना balance रखने वाली चीज, like any kind of society can function if there's a
Yeah.
balance, which is the narrative that everyone is like
Buying into.
accepting, buying it, and they're following that path. The thing that you said, I think the great Joker, you know,
Hmm.
which I quote ki, if
Exactly.
I,
वही हो गया flaws in the society.
and I'll tell you how these kind of narratives are very hypocritic, very partial.
Hmm.
ठीक है?
Hmm.
I'll tell you what kind of scenarios I feel is happening right now. let's talk about the criminals, the prisoners that are in jail, and let's talk about women's rights. I'm not comparing them. I'm just giving, uh, what do you call that? A differentiator of what is perceived basically on the other side.
Hmm.
आप अपनी लेंस से लाइफ देख रहे हो. You're looking at a particular thing with this particular lens, with these two eyes, with this one fucking brain, right?
Yeah.
क्रिमिनल्स अगर बैठ के अपने राइट्स के ऊपर लड़ने लग जाए, हाउ वुड
Yeah.
दैट बी परसीव्ड एंड हाउ वुड दैट साउंड? तो क्रिमिनल्स ये बोले कि हमको फ्रीडम चाहिए.
तुम कौन होते हैं हमें अंदर डालने वाले? हम तो लाइक दुनिया
एग्जैक्टली,
भगवान
हाउ
ने
हाउ
बनाई
डिड,
है।
हाँ, हु आर
दुनिया
यू?
भगवान ने बनाई है, हु आर यू
Why
टू
would I
चूज?
follow societal rules? Why would I follow societal law and order if everything that this world is made up of is unanimous? Like no one controls, no one has any singular control over it. We are a free world, free freedom of speech है, हम कुछ भी बोल सकते, तो हम कुछ भी बोलने के लिए ये सब चीज बोल रहे हैं. तो you tell me, how would that be perceived in front of everybody? How will that be taken care of? Will people give a fuck? Will people even care what they're saying? Would they even uh, act on it? What would be the end game scenario of
हम्म।
prisoners or people who are in jail, who are committed felons,
या
and who are
कुछ
like,
सॉफ्टीज आएंगे, बोलेंगे हो तो गया, उन्होंने जेल रह तो लिया, अब वो निकाल दो बेचारों को।
I think this is where we need to understand कि मोस्टली सोसाइटी जो फंक्शन करती है,
या
which I really defy, and
या
I would love to fight with every single person who are part of that conventional society. कोई भी चीज जो आपको थ्रेटन लगती है ना, कोई भी
हम्म
चीज आपको ऐसे लग रही है कि थ्रेटनिंग है हमारे हमारे नॉर्मल डे टू डे कोर्स के लिए, हम उसको सोसाइटी से रिमूव कर देते हैं, विच इज बेसिकली हाउ लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इज एक्चुअली ऑपरेटिंग राइट नाउ.
हम्म
I was on the way to pick up my brother, and उस रास्ते में ना डिस्ट्रिक्ट एंड सेशन कोर्ट आता है मेरी सिटी का. एंड एक तो बहुत मैजेस्टिक वे में बनाया हुआ है वो. आई थॉट कि ये कोई होगी बिल्डिंग स्कूल की या यूनिवर्सिटी की. ऐसे मैं नहीं देखा था पहले, मैं ज्यादा नहीं लाइक ट्रैवल किया हुआ, इवन दो मैं बहुत टाइम से रह रहा हूँ यहाँ पे. आई ऑब्जर्व दिस वन थिंग कि मैंने वो सेशन डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट का बोर्ड लगा हुआ, मैंने वो देखा, and फिर मेरे को याद आया कि एक लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का रिकॉल क्या होता है कि देयर इज अ वुमन ब्लाइंडेड एंड दे लाइक स्टैंडिंग एंड लाइक हाथ में वे बैलेंस तराजू लिया हुआ है, एंड देन द नरेटिव ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर सिंबल is कि law is blind and it will only prove if you are guilty or not guilty on evidences. How flawed is this? मैं अगर मैं ज्यादा डीप नहीं जाऊंगा क्योंकि मुझे उस सब्जेक्ट एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है उस चीज के बारे में, बट द वे आई एम
बट
ट्राइंग टू
व्हेन वी
रिलेट
ब्रिंग अ
इट.
लॉयर, शायद
हाँ,
हम तब बात
एग्जैक्टली.
कर सकते हैं।
If any lawyer want to collaborate with us,
यस,
you know what to do. You can
टू
contact
स्टार्टअप
us
गाइज एंड
on.
अ लॉयर।
It would be fun though, trying to understand it from that side, कि वो कैसे देखते हैं, like हमारे जैसे अगर कोई लोग आते हैं, नॉर्मल लोग, and if they try to uh, understand what actually law is. क्योंकि मैंने देखा है, have you seen this particular setup where even the criminals get a lawyer even though उन पे like आरोप है कि they have committed some crime.
क्रिमिनल्स, टेररिस्ट, एवरीवन।
Circling back to the concept that I was explaining, conformity. And I think that is where I stand by it कि conformity should be eradicated, because आपको हर ट्रेडिशनल कन्वेंशनल पाथ फॉलो करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. ये जो इनहेरिटेड नॉलेज अब लेके आ रहे हो लोगों से, ये जो अपने निग्लेक्टेड एंड बुलीड थॉट्स को बॉटल अप करके आपके अंदर रखा हुआ है, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू टेक यू एनीवेयर. कमिंग बैक टू व्हाट वी वर डिस्कसिंग, ये जो प्रिजनर्स अगर करने लग जाए फाइट, नो वन वुड केयर, नो वन वुड गिव अ डैम. व्हाई? बिकॉज दे आर थ्रेटेन्ड बाय दैट पर्टिकुलर right or that particular setup that has been demanded. So imagine like that particular scenario. Let's remove the labels and put female and women's and men's in that particular situation and
या
talk about rights. How does that sound? They are portraying themselves as prisoners of their mind, the society, the world that they are living in. they're portraying themselves कि हम बंधे हुए हैं, हमें इस चेन से फ्री करो, like break our chains,
Yeah,
break the way we are suppressed and all.
yeah,
Would anyone with the superior power give that kind of power to them? And
because
I
they're
think
threatened.
because they're threatened, and the threatening is from both the sides.
Men,
Prisoners are
men
thinking,
are men are
prisoners are,
women. When
हाँ,
men
yeah,
are threatened by women.
either way, both of them. See, men or women, if you're trying to idolize them, there's no such concept as that. Like,
Hmm.
there's no perfect man or perfect woman.
Yeah,
Every other gender are idolizing them, and that is
right.
something that is very, uh, like very very stupid. I remember this headlines that I keep reading. Why?
इसने जो
Because it.
आइडियलाइजिंग बोला का बेसिकली मतलब है कि हम जनरलाइज कर देते हैं और एक एक पर्सन को एक पर्सोनिफाई कर देते हैं, पूरी एक एक पूरी जनता को एक पर्सोनिफिकेशन कर देते हैं.
ये जैसे तू ग्रेटा थनबर्ग के बारे में बात कर रहा है,
हम्म.
राइट? अब I'll tell you how these kind of,
आई हेट हर.
conformity prisoners act, like along with the concept that you introduced. She was very famous. She became a known face at 13 or 12 or 10, 13, I think, because that is the number that I remember. Greta Thunberg, you can check the facts. Greta Thunberg is a woman, it's a girl. That is how she identifies herself. If there's anything else, I don't know. Like, I'm using this as a placeholder because I don't believe in any of them, uh, men or woman, male or female. So Greta Thunberg label like a conformity prisoner कैसे सोचता है? She is 13 years old. That is the clickbaity title number one. She is a girl, a woman. Title number two. She is speaking the voices of people to the world. Label number three.
थ्री.
These three traits can be used and can be used to influence and manipulate masses of people. Why? Because they're threatened by all these three uh,
एक सेकंड
traits.
पॉज करिए, पॉज पॉज. ग्रेटा थर्नबर्ग. यस.
So,
रुकावट
as
लग
I
गई
was
तो.
saying, कि conformity prisoners basically ना ऐसे ही देखेंगे. These are the three traits that they're threatened by: the age, the gender, whom they're addressing it to. एंड ये तो कहीं पे भी है, लाइक ये जो तीन ट्रेट लेबल्स हैं, ये तो कहीं पे भी फिट कर दे, देखना लोग हमेशा इससे डरेंगे. Why? Because of the cultural dampening that has been happening for a really long time. क्योंकि हम अपने ही thoughts में chained हैं. We have become a prisoner of our own thoughts,
ओन
and that is
थॉट्स.
what is leading this kind of domino effect going down the lane. Which is why giving rise to these kind of people, Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, just because हम अपने thoughts से बंधे हुए हैं, तो we need someone to release us from that particular, what do you call, uh, bond, like that unrealized bond. When someone says something that we are being chained off in our mind, it
हम्म.
becomes like a dopamine hit to us. It becomes like a uh, good trip, a bad trip for us, like a psychedelic shot where you're like amazed, oh my god, wow, kya
क्या
keh
हो गया
diya.
है?
And that is where everything begins.
ये
So
चीज तो
if
मैंने कभी सोची नहीं थी लाइफ में, ऐसे वाला फील एकदम.
exactly कि ये क्या बोल दिया इसने,
ओ शिट,
something.
यस ही इज करेक्ट, आई वाज
Yeah,
अप्रेस्ड.
exactly.
Bringing back scars that you don't didn't even have, like bringing back नहीं, bringing rented scars.
Yes. आई थिंक अगर इस
फिर
चीज को मुझे इस चीज को पूरा अगर
या
समराइज करना है, द थिंग दैट आई
या
आई रियली बिलीव इन, आई वांट एवरीवन टू फील इन दैट पर्टिकुलर वे. आई वुड से दैट द एब्सेंस ऑफ true nature and the absence of reality in your life attracts you towards a moral compass that is toxic, which in the end gives birth to toxic masculinity, which we were and we are talking about from the very start. Andrew Tate, a brilliant person on the distribution front, his voice is being reached to all the men in the world. I can like think of that. Apart from few of exceptions and cases, his distribution game is really strong. Why? Because he was not selling his ideologies, he was not selling his philosophies, he was just directing everyone into thinking कि he is the moral compass that can give you the direction to a better life.
Right.
This can be done by anything. Like now, अब मैं यहाँ पे ऐसा claim नहीं करूंगा because just because he was a man, he was able to influence the world. क्यों? क्योंकि feminists जब argue करने आती है तो they have a lot of points saying कि वो तो इन्फ्लुएंस हो गई क्यों, क्योंकि मेजोरिटी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन कंसिस्ट्स ऑफ मेन, तो एंड्रू टेट अगर मेन को टारगेट कर, बेसलेस। मोरल कंपास ऑफ लाइफ कहीं भी नहीं कहता ऐसा कि ये मेन के लिए ही है या ये वुमेन के लिए है।
Mm-hmm.
You see yourself in that particular shade, shoes, light, and that is why you are saddened or happy about it.
Yeah.
There has been a lot of reels and shorts and YouTube videos ना जहाँ पे लोग जाके पूछते हैं, do you think Andrew Tate is good? Do you think Andrew Tate is bad? Every other woman is saying he is bad, and every other man is saying that he is right.
I
Why?
don't know. I don't know how did I find some reels which like जो मैं scroll कर रहा था जिसमें
Hmm.
सारी लड़कियों ने हाँ बोला कि like that is right. Like, that's an
And
exception, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
your feed is like controlled by
Like
Jordan.
I think some of them are building that like some of the girls feel that he's bringing back stronger men or something.
I think the thing that I mentioned in the start of our
Yeah.
video, he's just questioning stuff. And when
He's
you
just
don't
questioning.
have you don't have the
True
answer to
that.
it, what are you doing? You I think you're taking the path of either misery as your comfort, you're either taking a path of existential crisis as
Yeah.
comfort, right? There was a time when I used to question a lot of stuff and I realized that nihilism is my comfort. But I have to like, even though a lot of things happened, I elevated over nihilism and I don't have any idea कि उसके ऊपर कौन सा concept होता है. Because in my brain, I was idolizing this particular ideology, which means nothing.
Hmm.
Basically, nihilism का अगर तू meaning देखने जाएगा, it means nothing. तो अब
Nothing.
मैं nothing में कैसे believe करूँ पता? Not the phone guys. That is different.
नहीं नहीं we believe in nothing. We
Yeah,
like the
we
phone.
believe in nothing because it is
Yeah.
another step towards, monumental innovation. But coming back to what we're discussing, Pete Lau and Carl Pei, we can have a discussion on
I
nothing.
yeah we'll use Twitter to the best of our abilities to bring him in.
Hmm. What
But
about
एक
the?
चीज बता but एक
हाँ,
चीज बता कि do you think like I'm not talking about Andrew Tate here ठीक है I think like according to what I've been I've understood मैंने ज्यादा देखा नहीं ठीक है पहले तो what I've understood that he is not right ठीक है he is not right in a lot of things and what he's promoting is bad and is wrong at like तो अगर हम जब भी पूछेंगे वीडियो में स्टार्ट में कि is Andrew Tate right no he's not right ठीक है इसके साथ में we are also talking about Jordan Peterson and other people who like who have been named like him in the wrong direction ठीक है do you think Jordan Peterson is wrong like in the narrative की जो वो narrative नहीं सेल कर रहा the thing is Jordan Peterson is not philosophizing he's
hmm.
stating facts that this is what biology this is how what psychology tells us तो मेरे को ऐसा लगता है that his idea isn't wrong the usage of it might be sometimes ठीक है
It's
people
the
who are
same way, right?
extremists
कि
को दूसरी
uh,
साइड पे यूज कर लेते हैं उसको
नहीं नहीं, I think this is the same fashion कि E is equal to MC square. The equation was merely some mathematical concept filled with physics, science here and
yeah
there.
yeah
But in the end, what was it used in, and how, and what it created in the end? Destroyed a part of the world, right? Any kind of, see, so that was a monumental invention. That was like a revolutionary invention. Any kind of social invention can be considered in that way. Andrew Tate is a social invention. You are the people who created it, the one who are consuming his content, the one who are very, very much sold to the idea that he's selling. The way you said the extremists wala angle, right? It
Yeah,
becomes very like constantly you are borrowing uh, that kind of feeling from other people because you are confused कि मुझे क्या decision लेना चाहिए X या Y के बीच में. Is Andrew Tate right or wrong? Is Jordan Peterson right or wrong? ये सारे decisions तेरे कभी होंगे ही नहीं. क्यों? क्योंकि it is borrowed from the
from
influence that
from the
you
culture.
from the
यही
culture.
यही cultural hegemony. This is the
This is
this is what I
cultural
was saying.
hegemony. Okay, I think
The
this is something we
जो
have a touch base on.
yes, do like obviously like when like simple questions people ask, Jordan Peterson said, does the world need strong men? Of course it needs strong men. Huh? Why should men be weak? अब इसको तुम डिफरेंट नैरेटिव से ले लोगे कि स्ट्रॉन्ग मेन डिस्ट्रॉय दिस. नो, टॉक्सिक मेन डिस्ट्रॉय इट है.
Exactly.
टॉक्सिक women are equally as bad. He says that and people get triggered. ठीक है. तो that's the thing. यही चीज एंड्रू टेट आगे बोलता है और गंदी तरीके से है.
हाँ,
और
exactly.
he has a very straight face, he's a very bold and like look, his looks are very nice. तो उसे ना एकदम ऐसा लगता है कि भाई सही बात करती है तो
सही
भाई
बात
भाई
कर दी. Exactly.
भाई देख ऐसे रील दिखाते हैं एक दूसरे को, भाई देख क्या बात कर.
ये पैकेजिंग की बात आती है. Like if we
बहुत
really want to
बढ़िया.
like deviate from here and talk about this in startup terms, anything that you want to market needs a very good packaging. If it's not good packaging, you'll never feel that it's related to your status quo. Like I'll give you an example. And me being
एंड
me,
गाइस ये पर्सनल ब्रांडर है इंसान, तो ही नोज हाउ टू पैकेज पीपल.
एग्जैक्टली अपनी छोड़कर मैं दुनिया की पैकेजिंग करता हूँ. मेरी पैकेजिंग करने की मुझको जरूरत नहीं है. इट्स लाइक वेल
तेरी
नोन.
पैकेजिंग तेरे तन में भेंट वाले थ्रेड ने कर दिया.
And I think this is the time when I should announce that I'm writing a thread on Jordan Peterson's philosophy and like breaking him down, literally and metaphorically. I don't believe, like, I don't buy his philosophies, even though he might be targeting a
करेक्ट.
particular set of minds. I think
पढ़ियो
so.
पढ़ियो
You
तो बुक
understand
पढ़ियो पहले और फिर करियो. बुक में बहुत सारी चीजें.
beyond order.
नो, फर्स्ट बाय 12 rules and then by 12 more rules
No,
beyond
because
ordering.
see, I propagate on the philosophy of chaos. Everything
Yeah,
around me needs to have that kind of thing because everyone has it, and I find it very satisfying and vulnerable at the same time that everyone is trying to soothe their chaos. Like everyone is trying to either hide it, everyone is trying to either get familiar with it, everyone is trying to become an enabler of chaos, but no one is trying to accept it कि उनके अंदर है. Right. If I really want to like talk very controversial, startup वाली चीज खत्म हो गई. Let's talk about something very controversial. If I go to a priest, any kind of priest in any kind of religion, priest being the placeholder here, and if I say something which is not dictated in their religion, right? Any kind of religion have different form of priests. If I go to any XYZ priest and talk about something that they that is not dictated in their religion, how would they react to it? For example, I really don't want to say this, but I should say this. If a priest is not a believer of uh, non-vegetarian food to be tolerated in the society, and if I go to him and tell him the scientific aversions of this particular food, like non-vegetarian food contains vitamin B12 and it enhances your
yeah.
longevity and XYZ stuff. I give him a very science evidence based answer. Will he buy to my idea?
uh, Again, this is a very good cultural effect कि हमने सारे प्रीस्ट को एक ऐसे तरीके से सोच लिया कि they'll be conservative.
एंड आई थिंक यहाँ पे मेरे को एक मूवी साइट करनी पड़ेगी. हैव यू सीन पीके बाय आमिर खान, लाइक
Yeah,
द है ना? उसमें देखा है, ही ब्रिंग्स 4 people ऑन स्टेज एंड देन ही आस्क्स द पर्सन, लाइक देयर इज अ डायलॉग हैपनिंग, कि मुझको अब देख के बताओ कि इन सब का धर्म क्या क्या है,
mm,
right? And then that main person sitting on the raised high rise seat says कि ये x है, ये y है, ये z है, ये 1 2 3 है. And then he says कि अच्छा ठीक है, like now you have defined it, now let's talk about who they really are. And then they start saying their name. Some says I'm this, some says I'm this. So basically what he was doing as a social experiment in that movie was कि हम पहनावे पे, basically that was a metaphorical, reference, a very anecdotal reference actually, कि हम पहनावे से, like the first impression of what we have, we judge people,
yeah,
right? And anyone who tries to reject the default, anyone, be it any kind of societal rule, norm, law and order, if
yeah.
anyone is trying to reject that default and try to search for any new options, they become a hallmark of disgrace. They become a hallmark of disrespect. They become a hallmark just like Andrew Tate, and they become a hallmark just like Jordan Peterson or any other
Mm.
person that are
Elon Musk.
rejecting the defaults and trying to search for better
Yeah,
options. They, as I'll again be very specific and focused about the emphasis that I'm making, questions. Every other person that you see on the internet is packaging themselves and asking questions. It is you, the viewers, the listeners, the consumers, the seekers, that are seeing it in that particular lens.
so do you think people should not consume them, or should they?
Should, I'll give you a very good analogy and then you'll understand the answer to this question. Should people not hunt because they can get killed,
Probably.
right? That is
Mm.
how you can see it.
Mm.
One way to answer it is you should not hunt because you can get killed. But what about those people who are like skilled, trained, who are uh, who want to experience that kind of adrenaline adventure?
They can't leave it.
So I think the answer to your question, should they leave it or should they not, it's all about boundaries. If you set yourself in a boundary where you know that at after this point I can get influence or I can't get influence, you should consume till that point. And after that I could
I-
think you can, because you never
yeah,
know exactly what kind of situation a person is in. A person can be very great presenter but a very fragile mind. They can be a very loosened mind with a very fragile presentation. So
present.
any kind of um, disadvantage or advantage you want to find in life with all these kind of concepts,
Mhm.
I think that is that, like, how you should do it, how it's supposed to be. This is what people are telling. This is what people are selling. This is how it's supposed to be. This was
Yeah.
in this way, and this is how it's supposed to be. That is what needs to be understood and bifurcated. मैं तेको बताता हूँ. I think everyone in Indian household, उनके साथ कभी ना कभी बचपन में ये हुआ ही होगा. There's a press, iron press. आप
Mm.
जब छोटे होते हो तो you are fascinated by that thing, that you try to touch the bottom surface of that particular
हाँ हाँ.
press, right? And क्या होता है, like if it's very hot, आपने तो like
जल.
unknowingly touch कर लिया, you get jolted कि यार गर्म लग गया, या my there's a skin burn happening to me. What is the trigger the next time you see that?
फिर से नहीं टच करता. Yeah.
This is how the function of human brain or human activity is. जब तक आपको जलेगा नहीं, तब
पता
तक
नहीं
आप
लगता.
पता नहीं लगेगा. And I think this is how you should treat any kind of
Mm.
content being influenced, any kind of
I
influencer.
think और दूसरी बात, like building a small or like strong skill in this means having control over your own mind and not letting these people influence you in your daily life. Like just because Andrew Tate says something, you start treating the people in your life differently. That's not something you should do. Secondly, all these are studies and बातें हैं, समझो सीखो उनसे. आई डोंट थिंक एंड्रू, देखो तो लाइक विवान ने बहुत ही पॉलिटिकल आंसर करेक्ट आंसर दिया, मैं बड़ा स्ट्रेट आंसर दूंगा.
हाँ दे दे.
एंड्रू टेट इज नॉट राइट. ओके, like एंड्रू टेट इज टॉक्सिक, तो
आई
डोंट
थिंक
कंज्यूम.
I'll just stop you there and I'll tell you, ये जो राइट एंड रॉन्ग वाली चीज है ना, इसी
या
बाउंड्री की बात मैं कर रहा हूँ.
हाँ
यहाँ
मुझे
तक
पता है.
आपने आने दिया है कि इफ ही इज राइट और नॉट, दिस इज ऑन यू. इफ यू रियली वांट टू लाइक टेक अ ब्लेम, you should take a blame. If you want to blame someone else, do that and confront it. I think अगर आपने
आई
लेक्स
आई
फ्रिडमैन
जस्ट,
एंड कान्ये वेस्ट का
मैं
पॉडकास्ट
यही
देखा है,
बोलने वाला था. ओह
राइट,
शिट.
this is a this is a good thing कि
या.
Kanye is always talking in like placeholders, analogies. Ki, if someone says me this, then what should I do? You tell me, is this my thing? Then Lex Fridman very calmly answers ki, I would like to cut your bullshit. And you think this is bullshit? Then Kanye replies, and then Lex says ki, just go and confront them. I think this is where your father was right. That you don't confront those people, you just keep calling placeholders. You just keep calling
एग्जैक्टली.
anonymous names. You'd never name them, confront them, and tell them that this is what is wrong with
यू
you and this
जस्ट
is what I feel.
जनरलाइज
You
कि
just
ये.
generalize.
हाँ.
It's in the same manner, right? Uh, Again, a very sensitive statement. If you see someone in a particular attire, you think that is danger to the society. If you know what I mean, right? If you see someone wearing a white cap on their head and wearing a what I don't know what it's called, patani, maybe that, right? The effect, the first impression effect that you have onto yourself, what is that? You generalize everything that you have heard from the society with the
Generalization.
atrocity. So
Yeah.
atrocity happened to you, a trauma happened to you. Now you constituted that particular regime to a bunch of a group of people.
Phobia is actually not a problem. Like phobia is not the problem. The problem is
Hmm.
our generalization of
Our
everything. Like this is applicable on anything. तो कोई भी example उठा कर देख लिया.
आई
हाँ.
थिंक अभी ना रिसेंटली आज ही
Yeah.
मैंने एक पॉडकास्ट सुना एंड्री ह्यूबरमैन एंड लेक्स फ्रिडमैन के बारे में. दिस वाज रिकॉर्डेड एट द टाइम व्हेन लेक्स फ्रिडमैन केम बैक फ्रॉम रशिया.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is a very beautiful statement that Lex Fridman made, which I am like reiterating on. Uh, I think I should cite it here क्योंकि हम like hatred on सबके बारे में बात करें. He said कि the only thing I am against war, he said, and the only thing that he doesn't like about war is the uh, chain reaction of hate, the propagation of hate that embeds to the people of that particular nation or people of that particular community or people of that particular regiment. As he said कि if रशिया एंड यूक्रेन की बात अगर हम कर रहे हैं, राइट, तो अगर रशिया के कुछ सोल्जर्स या लीडर्स ने ये डिसीजन लेके वो करने लग गया, देन द पीपल हु आर गेटिंग इफेक्टेड दे विल हैव अ हेट्रेड टुवर्ड्स
Yeah.
द
Exactly.
सोसाइटी, कम्युनिटी, स्टेट,
Exactly.
country of that particular
Because
action.
90% of 99% of the people are nice, good human beings who want to do good in the world. That is true. अच्छा ठीक है, मत तू मुझ मत बोली इस बात पे, but that's the truth. Like we want to do good to the world. Like nobody wants to bring wrong to something unless we are sold a different narrative. And some people are sold a different narrative. यहाँ पे अगर एंड्रू टेट की बात करें, he's selling a different narrative, and I think it's toxic, and I think there's better content to consume than that. ठीक है. Secondly, when we're talking about Jordan Peterson, you need to understand what that man says, because that man has an IQ level of I don't know what, and he actually talks about a lot of right stuff, like very right,
and
मतलब
he
correct
and
stuff.
he
Correct बोल रहा हूँ, right को
he's
गलत मत ले लेना.
he
हाँ,
bounds to he has to be correct, like he bounds to be correct. Why? Because it is evidence based. It is
evidence
not
based.
like, unlike Andrew Tate, who is all talking about his instincts, his experience, the way he treats people and life. Jordan Peterson, on the other hand, I think
Is a study. He
is
studies.
exactly his everything is evidence based, which I think
Researcher
I'm
है.
going to talk a lot. My linguistic is going to be very evidence based. I'm going to say a lot of evidence here and there
We can do another
because
one detailed on Jordan Peterson when you've consumed a lot of his stuff. When I've consumed properly, तो हम
yeah,
detail में करेंगे.
because these evidences, as I was saying,
Hmm.
ये evidence ही है जो मेरे को like मुझको particularly uh, evidence based research is lacking in India, and that is why it led me to build IQ on the first place, right?
Hmm.
And Jordan Peterson is going to be proven right even by his haters at some point. It will come
Yeah.
eventually, but he will be proven right because he's talking about evidence. Like, I'll tell you, this is basically a conundrum of flat earth believers and like normal round spherical earth
Yeah.
believers. Some say earth is flat, some will say earth is round or spherical. Who's
Yeah.
right? Is the evidence right or is your belief right? What happens when
Exactly.
someone is very very convicted with what they're thinking, with the particular set of principles that they have? People leave them, they don't bother about them. Something that happens to
सही बात.
prisoners as well, because their belief system is ki I need to commit crime. ठीक है, we will leave you. That is how the treatment of human evolution is like transitioning. Andrew Tate is now nowhere to be seen. People will not care after a point of relevancy if it's all based on instinct. But if it is evidence based, you're going to be remembered for a lifetime.
Right. And Peterson will be, and he will have a worldwide fame. Like
He is going to be remembered in history as one of the modern philosophers of this world. You know that I asked a lot of
will.
psychologists
Yeah.
in the group.
Ha ha
Ki,
ha ha.
yeah, I
I
love
know
to
where
tinker
he's
with them.
going.
I love
Yeah.
to tinker with them. Ki, tell me ki who is the modern philosopher, like in the era of 2022. Everyone quotes Socrates, everyone quotes Friedrich
Hmm.
Nietzsche, everyone quotes Freud, everyone would quote, Immanuel Kant, everyone would quote here and there. Who
Because
is
फिलोसोफर तो हिस्ट्री में ही हो सकता है ना, अभी थोड़ी आ
exactly
सकता है.
this is the conformity I'm talking about. I am asking ki who is that modern philosopher who's going to be remembered like these people in the coming future? And I think
Probably Jordan
Jordan
Peterson.
Peterson is going to be the one who we know, we see in like from our sterile live eyes. He's going to go down in history as one of those
Yeah.
modern
Do
philosophers.
do you think ऐसा कोई आदमी इंडिया में भी आएगा जॉर्डन पीटरसन लेवल का?
Me being a very narcissistic person right here, I
अबे.
think uh, we as like noble men, I won't call ourselves noble. We as a person should claim that
Yeah.
throne. And we, when I say we can like talk about our community, or we can
No,
coin it
he's
as
just being political. He just wants it we to be V1. V1. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I,
Yeah.
I want to have that kind of claim,
Hmm.
because
You
I
want to
think
have that kind
any
of
kind of
influence.
philosophy saves you from distress. Any kind of philosophy saves you from misery. And the philosophy that I have been imbibing, that I practice, can save you from that misery.
Mhm. Do you think we'll have Andrew Tate of India some time?
Yeah, yeah,
Because Indian society उस level पे चली जाएगी कभी ना कभी तो.
exactly. Because
As
there will
affluence grows, this education grows, there's going to be hatred against women, and like
a lot of
that's coming.
things.
That's coming. But I think India, for at least for 10 years, India, 10, 15, 20 years, India is the right place to be. It is set philosophically, हर चीज से. हम लोग ना बहुत like हम लोगों को लग रहा होगा इंडिया पोलराइज्ड सोसाइटी है, एक्चुअली नहीं है. इंडिया इज नॉट अ पोलराइज्ड सोसाइटी. अगर किसी को लगता है ना, एक बार यूएस जाके देखो, हर एक टाइम पे, इन इवन इफ इंडियंस आर टॉकिंग अबाउट पॉलिटिक्स ना, इट्स स्टिल वेरी बहुत बहुत अभी छोटी वाली चीज पे.
छोटी छोटी है, एग्जैक्टली
हाँ.
मैं अगर
वहां
इस
पे अमेरिका में एक एक चीज पे, मतलब तुम आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट समथिंग रिलेटेड टू जॉर्डन पीटरसन, टू एन अमेरिकन, एंड दे विल बी लाइक ये ट्रम्प सपोर्टर है, एंड आई एम लाइक मुझे क्या पता, मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है मेरे को, और आई डोंट थिंक ही इज, आई डोंट थिंक ही सेज दैट, आई डोंट इवन केयर अबाउट इट। तो दैट इज द लेवल ऑफ, छोटी छोटी जगहों में फैला हुआ है ये चीज,
I
उनका
think
हमारा बहुत बेटर है अभी।
this is how my learning curve has been, and this is how everyone's learning curve should be like.
हम्म,
राइट, जैसे प्री कंसीव मैंने पहले ही क्लेम कर दिया था, मेरे को नहीं पता ये क्या है, बट एज सुन एज वी वेंट थ्रू द कॉन्वर्सेशन आई शेयर्ड माय माय पर्सपेक्टिव्स,
या
माय लर्निंग्स, माय रिसर्च, एंड यू शेयर्ड योर पर्सपेक्टिव, योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग, एंड दैट इज हाउ वी लर्नड, राइट।
हम्म,
वो प्री कंसीव नोशन लेके रखने वाली बात वही कर सकते हैं जिनके पास ज्यादा एक्सपोजर है बट सब्सटैंशियली बहुत कम वजन है उनकी पर्सनालिटी में,
राइट, राइट।
right? The people who like just scratch the surface, those are the people that are
Also, if India wants to develop uh, properly, we need strong people. Okay,
exactly strong-witted
strong
people,
men, women, everyone, strong people,
be it of any gender.
and
I don't like.
oh yes, and strong people who are not fighting against each other. That's what we need. Who are fighting the world, who are fighting for themselves, अपनी लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं, and अपने आप को ऊपर लेके आ रहे हैं. That's a simple need. ये लोग Americans are like in a quarrel right now, and it's not ending well for them.
It's deteriorating like the
हाँ, I
society of.
actually like that country, but वो खराब हो रही है, and they are like doing, अच्छा like we'll take this some other day, पूरे डिटेल में बात करेंगे इस पे। अच्छा
I
मुझे एक
think
बात बता, लास्ट,
yeah, बता बता।
आई थिंक वी आर रनिंग आउट ऑफ टाइम। हम्म हु डू यू थिंक, लाइक एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, बिकॉज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कि कौन इंडिया में बन सकता है सोला, हु डू यू
Hmm.
थिंक विल बी मिस्टर बीस्ट ऑफ इंडिया?
Ooh, this is cool.
Who might not be at scale right now, but ultimately, okay, so basically requirements
So
क्या है,
we
ठीक
are
है?
we're not talking about particularly imitating what Mr. Beast
No,
does,
no,
but you're talking about the impact, the way it
impact.
has reached people,
Yes.
even
So
though it's
I'll
not
tell you
vanity metric based. I think that
objective,
is,
नहीं वैनिटी नहीं है, हाँ,
हाँ,
ऑब्जेक्टिव्स है ये कि he
हाँ,
should be simple, he should be
exactly.
funny, ठीक है, because humor attracts a lot of people in general,
Hmm.
and he should have a brand, strong brand pull, and he should be a man of masses. तो फोर थिंग है, बट सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, his content should be simple, and he should may be able to attract retention, like बहुत टाइम तक रोक के रख ले. Who do you think that's going to be? I have a guess.
It's going to be really difficult for me because मेरे को बहुत सारे like points analyze करने पड़ेंगे. Well, who do you have? Let's listen to your now. I'll
i
give it
think
in the
i
next
think
video.
I think two people, one
Yeah.
is not at scale, one is at crazy scale but very niche. One is Ankur Warikoo. I think Ankur Warikoo का जो brand है ना, it has that pull, and I think it won't deteriorate over time. That's what I feel if he like goes up. uh मैं बिजनेस वाइज भी बोल रहा हूँ, हिज अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ बिजनेस इज गुड, तो तभी वो मिस्टर बीस्ट जैसा ब्रांड बना सकता है, एंड अल्टीमेटली ही कैन डू थिंग्स एट दैट स्केल। बस इसमें ये प्रॉब्लम ये है कि उसमें ह्यूमर इम्पैक्ट नहीं है, ठीक है, जो कि आई थिंक वो अब मीम्स के थ्रू थोड़ा थोड़ा लाने की कोशिश करे, बट इन जनरल इज कंटेंट इज सीरियस कंटेंट। मैं ये नहीं कह रहा तो सीरियस नहीं हो सकता कंटेंट, बट ही इज एक्सट्रीमली सिंपल, ही इज कंसिस्टेंट, एंड ही नोज हिज शिट दैट वो ज्यादा क्लिक्स लाएगा, and people are going to watch the videos, then
And the most important factor about Variku, which I have had a very like crest and trough kind of feeling relation with Variku. Sometimes I love his content, sometimes I don't, but the loyalty that he has bought from me, I think that stays. And
mm, always.
uh,
You bought his book? You bought his book?
someone else bought it for me, and it is going to be delivered in my
19 December.
like
Yeah.
on my address. Variku ne na, I think why he won't be able to scale at that level, because he doesn't have the leverage which we would call as the generational leverage. Mr. Beast is 23 years old.
Hmm.
Bariku is 40 plus. I think that is the gap that can never
Yeah.
be covered by any means. You can't go back in time.
So who do you think it is? बता
I'm
जल्दी से.
still,
तन्मय भट्ट. तन्मय भट्ट probably. I don't know. I don't know. I think Tanmay Bhatt can be the.
but
But
the thing is, ना मुझे ऐसा
hmm,
लगता है कि why Mr. Beast is a worldwide phenomena and why we are just talking about the Indian phenomena is it like the thin line of what is happening here is language. Like that is one thing that is not enabling us to go on that side and not that side to come in here. I'll give you an example. Let's not talk about YouTubers. Let's talk about anchors and TV hosts.
so you think
Everyone
English अगर इंडिया से कोई इंग्लिश वाला
का
कंटेंट कर
करता
रहा
है.
हो
अगर कोई
या
करता है,
तो
then
वो जा
that can
सकता है.
scale like brilliantly.
हम्म.
I think if we really want to like talk about the Mr. Beast level, अभी इंडिया में उतना बड़ा इम्पैक्ट कोई करने का सोच ही नहीं रहा है, तो वी कांट इवन प्रेडिक्ट दैट.
राइट
But
राइट.
if we come a little bit lesser on the, on the comparative analysis, we can say that if you don't want the impact of Mr. Beast, how about talking the impact of Lex Fridman, or how about talking of the impact of Joe Rogan? ऐसा कौन
या
है इंडिया में जो कर
वो
सकता
तो
है
है.
उस टाइप का इम्पैक्ट?
वो तो है.
Then I think I have an answer. I don't have an answer for the Mr. Beast or other thing because no one is at
लेक्स
that
फ्रिडमैन
scale.
कौन बनेगा इंडिया का? Who
Dost
do you think?
cast.
Those cast. And who do you think will be Joe Rogan? Ranveer?
Ranveer.
Hmm.
Ranveer Alabadia.
Hmm.
Because see, the diversification and the kind of conversation, these are the two metrics that is judging any kind of podcasts in India.
Right, right, right.
The the quality of conversations that Dost Cast Vinamr Kasana is having, and surprisingly enough, he followed me on Twitter because I don't know why.
Because
Because
of your
because
Tanmay Bhatt thread, I guess.
because of my Tanmay Bhatt thread, which
Yeah.
was a big uh, boon and a curse because a lot of hate came through it. I laughed through all of them because I find it so funny, so funny. कि मेरी जो philosophy जो मैं experiment करता रहता हूँ कि that words can like shift mountains, it's actually true. And Vinamr Kasana has that kind of quality conversations, which is like Lex
Right.
Fridman level. And if you talk about Joe Rogan, so Joe Rogan ki diversification is something that people seek in India. आप
Yeah.
डिफरेंट डिफरेंट जॉनरस, हर जॉनरा को टच करो. किसी को मेकअप एंड ब्यूटी प्रोडक्ट्स पसंद है तो उसका कोई फेस उठा के ले जाओ. किसी को अगर हॉलीवुड पसंद है, बॉलीवुड पसंद है, उसका फेस उठा के ले जाओ. कोई सेंसेशनल पर्सनालिटी है, आप उसको उठा के ले जाओ. तो आई थिंक
काफी वो है.
Ranveer has that kind of network that Joe Rogan has in his territory. So these are the two impactful kind of
And
YouTubers that we're talking about.
who is going to be India's answer to the, like, yeah, my first million podcast?
Uh, the one I maybe I
I
have
think
one more thing.
I think this can be I think the kind of response we are getting right now, I don't know,
Yeah.
like abhi start ही हुआ है. I won't like to like jinx it or
We
something.
can't be very quick to judge because हमने अभी तक
Yeah,
कितने like
ज्यादा
six
नहीं किए.
seven episodes ही
But
डाले हैं.
the quality of conversation, hmm, I think it can be somewhat like Lex, but in a very different version because there are two hosts. Uh, and yeah,
I would like to do a singular podcast where I like bring in a lot of
yeah,
people all over the India basically. So when I pitched you this idea, if you remember, that I wanted
yeah,
to like if I wanted to become the Mr. Beast from India in particular niche of startups because in India there is no phase that is associated with YouTube
business
and startups.
entertainment startup.
Business entertainment. This led me to build a new
IQ,
company of sort. So I think I want to like stand in that particular
right?
stature where everyone is very feeling very relatable because I find a gap in that market कि आप
True
स्टार्टअप
that.
स्टार्टअप के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, आप हेडलाइंस पढ़ रहे हो, फंडिंग के बारे में पढ़ रहे हो, इतनी सारी चीजें आ रही है, बट वेयर इज द real deal? What is
Hmm.
happening behind the scenes? Imagine someone takes the camera and talks about the behind the scenes of how any
Hmm.
big company in India is being built. How about I go which is that best startup in India? I'll start. Let's talk about cred and Zerodha. Okay. And how about me taking the camera, talking to you all in the camera, and going into their offices and seeing the culture from my
That would
eyes,
be
and through my lens, you all are seeing it.
that would be
How
nice.
about that? That will
Yeah.
create the impact that I want. Every other engineer,
Do you think
every
Raj
every
Shamani is going to be at that level any any day?
so see, for Raj Chamani, I think I didn't mention him in any of our conversations, because I feel Raj Chamani is a people's pleaser. He's not impactful. He's more on the retaining wala curve.
But he is going to be important.
No, I don't think so. He's
Okay.
not doing anything
राज
impactful
अनफॉलो
enough
करने
to.
वाला है मुझे, बट ओके.
No, no, I think, see, it's very,
Yeah,
if I can be very brutally
but
honest
we'll
with
bring him
you,
on someday.
yeah,
It's
you bring him on,
soon.
show this clip.
Yep.
If I can really be brutally honest with you, I
Yeah.
think Raj Shamani ke paas na, the what has happened, Raj Shamani is trying to cater mass. And mass में problem क्या हो जाता है कि you get all sorts of people.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no distinct understanding of who you're serving, why you're serving them, what they want from you. You just serve it. You're just serving for the sake of serving. So what this implies in conversations when we talk about Rajmani, there would be no uh, uh, indicator, or there won't be no differentiator which gives me a clear demarcation that this is what Rajmani stands for and this is what XYZ creator stands for. Why? Because he's speaking the same language of
Of
all those people who are very normal to him. One
right,
factor that he has in his leverage is relatability, because people who are like
obviously.
coming of age 18, 19 years old, who have never
They
seen anything kind
need
of
such
stuff,
content, yeah.
they're the one who's getting helping hand from Raj Shamani. But as I always say, and I'll keep saying this, content is a game of relevancy. As soon
Hmm.
as the relevancy drops, I think this is what happened with me and Variku. वारिकू के साथ जब तक मेरा अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड लाइक इंक्यूजिटिवनेस रेलेवेंस था, फाइनेंस,
Oh, right.
प्रोडक्टिविटी, स्टार्टअप्स, अब
वो
रेलेवेंसी
खत्म.
नहीं रहा मेरे को उसके साथ. तो आई थिंक माय रिलेशन विद वारिको इज एंडेड ऑन द कंटेंट कंजम्पशन साइड, नॉट ऑन
Right.
हिज
But
पर्सनालिटी और ट्रेड साइड. राइट.
if he sends out a book, I'm buying it. If Raj sends
एग्जैक्टली.
out a book, I'm probably not thinking about it. तो
सी
ये वाला
दैट
एक
इज
है.
हाउ that is the
एक
impact.
लास्ट, like we have 2 minutes left. Last two
mm,
नहीं, 1 minute actually.
1
So
minute left.
last, where does Prakhar stand in all of this? Do you think he's?
I think what are your thoughts on Prakhar, and then I
I don't
can end
know.
it.
I think what my father says and what I feel as well, he's going to be really big. Like he's going to have a very important, impactful impact on Indian youth. That's going to
I'll
be extremely important, extremely important. And in a way, he is quite innovative with the products that he launches.
Mm,
He is very innovative with his content, and the kind of business that he's been able to build with such a small audience right now, like comparative to what others have. I think it's impressive. I think what his thoughts are impressive. And best part is they're impressive while they're nuanced while being relatable. They can be applied to one's life, and that what makes it a complete good package. You have 20 seconds now because मैंने तो सारा time ले ही लिया.
I think Prakar is going to be a big shot. Not in the terms of numbers or vanity metrics or anything in that sort, but the like the basis of impact, that is something that Prakar is going to have. Why? Because Prakar is influential. He holds the power to manipulate your thoughts, bend your fallacies, question your paradoxes. And in the end, just because he has this extraordinary ability to um, make you understand anything figuratively and by his understanding. So he is also a student of philosophy. So
Hmm.
anyone who's a student of philosophy, they know one simple fact about themselves, that all they try to do is they try to be a reluctant individual when it
Right.
comes to social conventions, and they will be a person who like persevere a lot into understanding anything. Prakhar is that person. He
Right.
recently launched a video on particularly talking about Elon Musk and Twitter, and
Right.
I really find that video very enhancing because I had some sort of understanding of what is happening. Now he
Yeah.
gave me the linguistic. He gave me that kind of package of my thoughts and his voice, and now I have a better understanding about that
Right.
topic. So I think yeah, Prakhar is going to be
To be
a big
important.
shot.
He's Yep. So I think with this we are ending this first short podcast from us. We
Yep.
tried very hard to keep it under an hour, but like it's impossible for us. But
We will
whatever
be
there
trimming down a
is,
lot of like a lot of
yeah,
parts if it's not like required. And we have a lot of plan. We have made a new Telegram community. I would hope that you all can join it.
from
We
the
did
link
the
in description.
Yeah, all of the links will be mentioned. Aryan is working really hard into shipping his like the recent update in our life is Aryan is really working hard to ship his app as soon as possible in your palms. And I have uh, launched a new startup. It's called IQ, and all of these links will be linked down below. Follow us, like, share, subscribe, whatever the
From the data we've seen, most of you like who watch regularly, and we got a good response till now.
mm,
Don't subscribe, so please subscribe to Badu because that helps, and like with Badu that helps boost this video. And बस
exactly.
हो गई, मैंने ये कर दी
And
हरकत
we
कर दी
read
ना
all of the
melted.
comments. हमने ये पढ़ा कि आपको like chapters and sections चाहिए, हमने
We
क्या
will
क्या
do
कहाँ
that
कहाँ
now.
बात की है. So we will be doing that. Thanks for that kind of feedback.
Response.
Startup founders love feedback. And on that note, I think
Two s- two ta- two startup guys signing off.
two startup guys
That's
signing
what I
off.
thought I'll say, but ये अच्छे से delivery नहीं हुई. But
Practice
okay.
makes man perfect. Nothing new, but
Yeah.
perfect. So yeah,
Man
on
and
that
woman,
note,
perfect.
dehumanized
Humanized
gender,
gender.
guys.
ठीक
But
है.
on that note,
चलो.
thanks for watching, and yeah,
Bye.
I'll see you on one more thing.